I'm James Zanewicz from Tulane Medicine in the Bullpen at JPM 2025, and I'm joined by Mark Williams of Servatus. Mark, welcome to the Bullpen.
James, good to meet you. Thanks for having me.
So great to have you here, and the weather that you guys brought from Australia is incredible.
No, that's not what I hear. I hear Californian weather's pretty good the whole time.
No, sideways, I think, and it's like storms and everything else. I'm giving the Gold Coast all the credit, I swear.
That's not what we've heard down in Australia. We come here for the weather. So anyway,
you got lucky this year.
I'll take what I'm given.
You got lucky, yeah, because it was summer for you right now, though, right?
It's summer, yeah.
But anyway, more importantly, we're here to dig into a little bit about you and your company, Servatus. First, I want to learn a little bit more about Mark.
Okay.
What's your history? How did you get where you are now?
Okay. So I had a very non-traditional entry into biotech. So my background is actually investment banking. I spent about 20 years with an Australian investment bank, and that was outside of the area of biotechnology. Most of that was offshore. I spent about 15 years offshore in Europe and in South America, predominantly in Brazil. And so when I moved back to Australia and I finished my career in investment banking, I was moving around some potential ideas, and I met the founder of Servatus, Dr. Wayne Finlayson. My interest in Wayne's technology actually came from the fact that both my parents are doctors. And Wayne, the ideas that Wayne was talking about and the technology that he was bringing to the table when we started the early conversations were familiar enough to me to spike an interest. But also very specifically, he was talking about autoimmune diseases. A common...
Yeah, you heard a lot about growing up.
I was going to say, I don't need to explain what they are. We have a history of autoimmune disease in a part of my family. And some of the solutions that Wayne was talking about of our technology were relevant to parts of my family. So it was a personal journey that took me into it, and I came in from a business development, strategic development perspective with the company, and then later assumed the role of CEO.
That's fantastic, and I think that brings us to probably the answer to the next question, which is, what are you focused on right now for 2025? And I'm guessing that's Servatus.
Yeah. Yeah. So look. Really simply, Servatus has been a great success story. Servatus is a company, since I've been involved in the company for just under 6 years, we've grown dramatically, as measured by a number of different metrics, but the key one for us is the clinical trial pipeline and the development and the progress that we're making in the clinical trial pipeline. And we really had, in the end of 2024, midway through 2024, we had a key result for one of our key clinical assets for the treatment of rheumatoid arthritis.
Right.
Now, what's really important about this is we're using an emerging technology for the treatment of these severe diseases. So rheumatoid arthritis is a very severe disease, and although there are a number of treatments that are on market at the moment, there are some quite specific limitations, which means a large amount of people who suffer this disease are unable to get proper treatment. And the technology that we use, which is this emerging form of drug development, it's called live biotherapeutics, fills a lot of the gaps that exist in the treatment of this disease and many other autoimmune diseases. And so for us to get a clinical result at a phase 2A stage, which showed firstly that the safety of our product was exceptional,
right,
and the efficacy, the treatment results were also clinically, statistically meaningful, has positioned us in a position where we've not only grown a lot in the 5 years, but we're now about to really start accelerating.
Fantastic.
And so we're realizing the potential, and we're growing very quickly on the back of that.
And are you looking to do any sort of raise right now?
Yeah, so we are. Yeah. So that probably goes to the next part of this is why are we here? Why are we talking to the American investor population? Is because there's an understanding of the potential of the live biotherapeutics platforms. There's a strong understanding in Asia, and there's a strong understanding in pockets of the American investment community as well. It's very important that we continue to work and continue our clinical development now. But it's important for the patients, and it's important for our investors. And we believe that there's a good level of understanding of that here in America, and a good investor population who we're currently just starting to. This is really our first foray into the American market, just starting to engage with at the moment.
Do you have in mind what kind of level of raise you're going to do?
Yeah, so we're opening, well, soon to be opening a Series A, $20 million raise, which will be about 24 to 30 months of funding for us, which will allow us to hit some very key milestones, particularly towards the end of 2026, and some good valuation inflection points on the back of that.
So imagine you'll be looking both for a lead and for some investors.
Yeah, so Key's lead. We've got a lot of interest in the syndicate already, but the lead will be the key aspect.
Perfect. So you've got that set, but then what level are you looking at additional investors to come in as a minimum?
Great.
I know you're open to conversations always.
Great.
Usually have something in mind.
No. Look, it's a great question.
Yeah.
We've had indication from investors at around about the $1 to $2 million mark. Lead will look for a little bit more, but we'll build the syndicate based on lead's appetite, some of the strategy that comes out of that, and move it forward from that point there.
Fantastic. So then, the bullpen's all about finding someone, helping them, and repeating. Everyone in the bullpen helps each other, but this is your chance to make your ask with the bullpen. How can they help you achieve your goals? Is it investor introductions, connections to potential collaborators? What makes sense for you in 2025 from the bullpen members?
So just so I'm sure, the question is, how can the bullpen help me?
you?
Yeah, great. Look,
absolutely.
Great question. I love that.
You get to make it ask.
I love
when
that.
you come before the lights and deal with me, you get to ask for help.
I love this question. I wish people would ask me that more often. No, look, so two things. Firstly, I'm very new to the bullpen. I have heard great things about the bullpen, and I've heard great things about the capacity of the bullpen, but I'm yet to really understand the full potential of it. Mm-hmm. I'm looking for two things in the obvious. One is a lead, and the syndicate on the back of that. So investor knowledge of what we're doing and investor understanding of our results is going to be fundamental. But that comes with networking, and that comes, and as with all forms of therapeutic drug development investment, there are pockets of people who would take these types of projects on, and there are pockets that it's not appropriate for. So for the bullpen, who are a network, it's really for the people to, if they're interested in the Servatus story and autoimmune diseases, live biotherapeutics, they'll know that already, and then we should be having a conversation. If you're not in that pocket of that, it's networking for us to find the appropriate investors and build out from there.
That's fantastic. I think it's a great ask. Is what the bullpen's all about.
Great. Okay.
It's very exciting to have you here in the bullpen with us.
Very nice to meet you.
To have you at JPM, to have brought your amazing weather, which we're giving you all the credit for.
Okay, I'm going to take that.
You should. I mean, because usually it's horrible, and we have like storms raging outside and swells, and it's been this way for 3 days. So it's incredible.
Okay, you're absolutely right. I'm going to go back to the beginning of this conversation. I did bring the weather.
So thank you. You brought us something, and you should get some help.
My pleasure.
So bullpen, you heard that. Help Mark connect with investors. That's what he's looking for. Let's make it go.
Yeah.
And thank you again for joining us in the bullpen and for coming to JPM 2025.
Okay, thank you, bullpen. Let's make it work. Thank you very much.